morning, race morning, 5:26, getting the coffee down me half an hour before, just in time to start at 6 o'clock. The bag held up yesterday, which was good. Bike's all sorted out, ready to go. Nutrition's on there. Checked over my blue bag. All I've got to do now is zip up my wetsuit and put on my swim cap and goggles, and I'm good to go. The atmosphere is awesome. It's like a lot of people here. 2,500 competitors and then fans and stuff like that. So a little bit of nervous energy in the air, but it's going to be good. It's actually a much better morning than what I thought it'd be. The weather looks grim on the on the web. This is how bad it is. I can't even remember what it's called on the forecast. The weather looks grim on the forecast, but it's actually bliss out here. Nice for the swim, nice for the cycle. Don't know if we want to see the sun for the run, so we'll see. I'm excited, I'm confident, I'm ready to go. This is what we've been training for. See you out on course.
The hill too much, Dale? Yeah, oh, is it? Oh, mate.
Dale Hardiman, you are an Ironman.
No, you go ahead, mate. It's fun.
Done it 50.
Yeah, he did a fast pace.
Yeah.
Nice fun though, from the start.
Shaking a bit now.
What's next? Sleep?
I think that would have still happened.
People here, you hit
So we did it. It is now Thursday. The Ironman was on Sunday, and as you see, we made it to the finish line in one piece. The day didn't fully go to plan, but we got round in a really good time. In the end, I ended up finishing 29th in my age group, 124th in my gender, and 131st overall. 1,092 people finished, and I've got no idea how many people started. I'm not sure how to find that data, but there was around 2,500 people on the start list. Now, I don't know how many started, how many we dropped along the way, but I'm guessing there was a significant amount of dropouts. And as you'll know, as I go through this kind of breakdown now of how it went, you can see why it probably happened. So the day started pretty poorly for me, to be honest. Went out, got onto the swim, and within 5 minutes I was cramping up, and in my hamstrings. And I think that was probably down to I was staying in quite warm accommodation, and I woke up the morning of the race sweating a lot, in a puddle of sweat. Same for the previous days. And although I was hydrating, I probably was underhydrating without realising it. So I put it down to that, but there could be other reasons. But we got the swim done. It was pretty hellish. I didn't enjoy, because it was my first triathlon, I didn't necessarily enjoy being in the washing machine type environment when you've got other swimmers around you and there's arms and legs flying everywhere. That's something I'm going to have to get used to, because I'm definitely going to do more of this. So, but we got it done, and we got in an hour and 22. The first half of the swim was more solid than the second. But when I actually looked at my data, I had a really good first half of the swim, a poorer second half of the first half, and then a really good second half of the first half, and then a poorer second half of the second half. So there was good moments and bad moments in there, and I honestly put it down to, there was a little bit of cramp, but it's probably where there was good moments, it was probably I was more technically proficient, I was more focused on my technique, and when there was bad moments or slower moments, I was, probably focused on other things, what's going on around me, just trying to swim, and just completely, my technique probably wasn't as efficient, and I wasn't getting through the water as quick. We got onto the bike after a transition, which took me almost 9 minutes, which is slow. Definitely need to work on that. But we got onto the bike, and we put a fairly solid bike time in of 6 hours and 18 minutes. Now, what I wanted was around 5:40, so it's not too far away from that, given the kind of distance and the amount of elevation we were covering. But certainly on the bike, it was absolutely brutal weather conditions. I've never ridden in rain like it, and the bike was a particularly hard bike course anyway, with 9,000 foot of climbing and then some really technical steep descents. So when it gets wet, those steep descents got a little bit dangerous. So there were cyclists coming off, and I assume we lost a lot of people, on the bike probably. A lot of athletes I spoke to afterwards said that they got cold on the bike and they were thinking about pulling out, because the conditions really were quite bad. But I actually really enjoyed it. Out of the whole day, the bike was the most enjoyable bit for me, including the wet conditions, to be honest. I've never been out in those types of conditions on the bike before, so it was just interesting to be out. I knew I was moving slower through them, but some of the hills and some of the descents were really fun. Picking up some crazy speed. I think there's a bike split here, it's over like 6k, and I'm doing 74 kilometers per hour over that 6k, which means I'm flying down a hill fast. And then there's later on a similar sort of bike split for the same distance, and I've flown down at 70 kilometers per hour. So some of the descents were quick, and you could build up some big speed, but obviously there was a lot of climbing to do, which slowed you down overall. But all in all, bike I was pretty happy with. Got off the bike, went into transition, went toilet. I took my time coming through transition, needed to change my socks and all that type of stuff, because they were literally soaked, and actually my cycling shoes are still soaked now. They still haven't dried out. It's Thursday, so that tells you how wet they were. The run, first bit of the run, first 8 miles or so, felt really, really good, moving at a solid pace, just below the pace I wanted to do for the day. But then it kind of just started getting a little bit slower, a little bit more laboured. The hills got harder work, my legs were cramping up. I've wrote a full post on this stuff on Instagram, so you can check them out. But basically, it got tough in the middle miles, and then towards the end, I sort of picked up steam, and I was able to get moving again. And I got to the finish line, and it was an amazing feeling getting over the line. I was absolutely ecstatic. I never had any doubt going into the race whether I'd get over the finish line or not. Something would have to majorly go wrong for me to not finish. But getting over the line was amazing. It kind of brought an end to the journey of working towards this goal. I wasn't disappointed getting in. I knew that I hadn't hit my time goals and stuff like that. At the moment of finishing, I wasn't disappointed at all. But after sitting down and thinking about kind of how it went, etc., there was definitely some things that could have gone better for me on the day. Some improvements that could have been made. Didn't feel my best physically. Like the cramp was kind of intermittent throughout the race. Certainly on the bike, I just didn't have the power that I've been having through training, which I need to look at that. Why was that the case? And the run was, I underperformed on the run, but all in all, very good time, and we got round in 12 hours and 35 seconds now. I probably could have just stepped up a little bit and or shortened my transition down or something and got in just under the 12-hour mark, but it's neither here nor there. It was around about that time, but miles off really where I wanted to be, and miles off definitely what I feel like I'm capable of doing. But there was a lot. I would say there was a lot to take on whilst I was going around. First Ironman, but first triathlon as well. Just going through the transitions, knowing where to be. There was some confusion for me when I came up to the dismount line at T2. I was kind of like learning on the move. So I've stored all that information now. I'll be better prepared for my next one. And I definitely don't think that I'm done with Ironman Bolton. I think I've got unfinished business with that course. I don't think I've done myself justice on the course. I think I can do better, and we'll be going back at some point. But for now, it's going to be rest, recover, get back into a normal training routine. I'm going to do some shorter distance stuff over the next 6 months probably. I want to work on all the different facets that I haven't had chance to practice, the things that are less familiar to me. And really think about. I'm not really sure what my next step is. I'm starting to piece it together at the moment, but I don't think I'll be leaving Ironman Bolton alone. I think I'll be going back there to Ironman U.K. I think I will be triathlon. I enjoyed the day. I enjoyed the sport. Is really, I'm really enjoying the sport. It's something that I feel like I can excel in, and I just need to get back on it now, piece things back together, and make some improvements in places. The final thing I'll say, the event itself was exceptionally well run. The support was absolutely ridiculous. There were people out on the bike course, all over the lanes, up the hills. People cheering you on. The town centre was absolutely packed. When you got into the marathon, that was absolutely packed as well with people. There was music. All of the course officials were so professional, so accommodating. So it's definitely an event that I would recommend if someone is interested in taking on an Ironman, because it's phenomenally well supported. I enjoyed it. Like I say, don't know what's next, but we accomplished the goal. We got it done. I can officially call myself an Ironman. I don't know where my medal is because the children, I think, have moved it somewhere, and I just had to search for it. I'm not sure where it is, but I've got one. But I'll definitely be going back to do myself justice on the course. There's going to be more to come from these blogs. This season is now officially over. We'll be back very, very soon with our next moves. I will see you then. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch up soon.